chance to go back there and make sure the bastard's dead? Move, Lieutenant Baird.
There goes a record. What? I went from lieutenant to war criminal in less than a week.
As you were.
The accused are denied any right to an attorney and may not question the authority of this tribunal.
So we can't ask why you're doing this now.
At the conclusion of this tribunal, I will issue a fair and swift verdict.
Right, of course you will.
Colonel, are we being charged with doing our job?
The charges will be defined as I hear your testimony. Now, Lieutenant Baird, begin with the last time we saw each other.
A convoy needed some fresh rifles. We got volunteered. It didn't sound like the most glamorous mission in Halpo Bay.
It wasn't supposed to be, Lieutenant.
Whatever it was, it looked like it was headed right for our convoy. Only Paddock knew what he was looking at, but he didn't say anything. Not yet. I'll tell you what we saw. The grub's secret weapon.
So you say, Lieutenant. So you say.
Our old convoy had been wiped out in minutes. Never seen anything like it. The museum was on the other side of the river, the side the COG no longer controlled. I thought maybe we could slip through unnoticed. I knew we would save time by going through some buildings. It's not like there were any civilians left to care. I was beginning to figure out that the Old Town civilians were the least of the COG's worries.
Everyone in the balcony got wiped out, sir. Everyone?
Luma sent us. Where should we go?
You're not Onyx.
I'm Onyx.
No, you're not, Cadet. Stay here and defend this area. The East Wing is getting hammered.
Black Force said they were losing the East Wing. He didn't mention they lost everything on the way there.
You! Hold this room! There's something big out there!
While the quickest way out was through the archives, I learned a lesson. If you're trying to avoid Locust, don't go downstairs. Our comms were sputtering back to life. Whatever was blocking the signal must have moved on. Kilo to control. I need Loomis.
What is it, Lieutenant?
Colonel, some grub riding a monster just wiped out every rifle at the museum. Request guidance.
Kill the grub, hold the museum.
Colonel, Paddock here. This grub, Goraznia, they called him Khan.
This isn't Goraznia.
My army threw all we have at him.
Colonel, what about the light mass missile?
Cadet, leave strategy to men with bars. I don't want to hear a word from any of you until Paddock's boogeyman is dead and I can...
How's that missile work?
It's classified, but there's one here in Halvo. The inventor teaches at the academy.
Yeah, Professor Elliot. I worked in his lab at LaCroix before he went military. The missile draws power from refined emulsion. The more emulsion, the bigger the boom.
Courtesy of your big boom.
God.
How close were you to the impact point?
Close enough. That thing would burn up this entire city.
This one's low yield. After the Hammer of Dawn, Elliot stopped working on it.
How low yield?
Baird, or Lieutenant, to fire that thing, you have to get the targeting beacon, the launch codes, personally activate the missile on site, and get this all approved by command.
Control, Kilo here. So, we're gonna get the light mass missile online and use it to kill General Khan. Any objections?
Works for me. All right, come on, Cadet. You're going back to the academy. That's an order.
Cadet Hendrik, I'm curious to hear what it takes to convince an Onyx Guard cadet to steal one of the COG's most powerful weapons.
I was against it, sir.
That's right. Run to daddy.
Maybe you could show me and the army you volunteered for a little respect.
I tried that, and look what it got me.
Cadet?
Colonel, I'm an academy cadet. I had to see if my friends were all right. A sewer line led from the museum to the academy, so we took it.
Did you encounter any locust in the sewers, Cadet?
None, Colonel. They were all busy, topside. The campus had been hit. Hard. If I saw any bodies, I wasn't gonna look too closely. I was worried I'd recognize them. One more step before entering the lab. The security station. Protocol had never felt more pointless. From there, we had to follow the bot off campus, and make sure no one damaged him. I was beginning to wonder if that bot really knew the best way off campus, but with no one back at control to talk to, our only choice was to follow him.
Not your only choice, Cadet. You could have come home.
If you say so, sir.
So, Paddock. Are you here as Major Paddock of the UIR, or Private Paddock of the COG?
Whichever one you like less.
The Open Arms program may have given you our uniform, but you and I remain enemies.
Fine. Let's settle this like enemies then.
Hey, that's enough! Stand down. You Garaznys weren't known for treating prisoners very well. I'm sure you know nothing about it.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
You don't seem like a man who takes orders. Why even follow Baird?
You might say I had an ulterior motive. We had the bot, but we still needed the launch codes for the Lightmass missile. Baird and Sophia's friend, Professor Elliot, was the only one who had them. Step by step, we were getting closer to Elliot's mansion. I kept thinking, who could live through all this? After a little push on some abandoned COG hardware, we were that much closer to the Professor's mansion. We couldn't get into the Professor's house until we eliminated those mortar squads. Every mortar squad. There was one left, which was good. I was getting sick of the sound of incoming. The truth is, none of us cared how well Sophia knew this professor. But I think we all knew by then that we weren't going to like what we found inside his mansion.
Cadet, I'm sensing you and Elliot are, close. You need to prepare yourself for what we might find in there.
I just lost all my friends, Lieutenant. It's not like my day's gonna get any worse.
Inside the mansion, it was worse than we thought. I guess the professor no longer liked his options. I didn't blame him.
This isn't good. But we still need the launch codes. Try to hack into Elliot's computer.
Hello, Dr.
Private Augustus Cole. You've been atypically quiet until now.
Y'all, listen up. All we gotta do is...
I assume you actually listen to your crash ball coach from time to time?
Trash ball. You're not a fan.
Pretend war? No. How are you finding the real thing?
I've been more comfortable.
Then unburden your mind.
Next, we headed for Onyx Point.
That facility's location is classified, Private.
I toured Harbor a few years back. One of your generals was a big fan. Took me on a tour. First time I was on Onyx Point, my tour guide was drunk. So was I. Even back then, the place had bad security. Couldn't tell which way led to the Light Man's missile. Kept opening up the heaviest looking doors. Eventually, we picked the right one. We hadn't seen any other gears in hours. I started wondering if we were the only ones left in Harbor. Even I was getting a little nervous. We couldn't believe how many grubs were in the fort waiting for us. What if they already found the Light Man's missile?
Lieutenant, you have to tell him what we're doing.
All right. Colonel Loomis, Lieutenant Baird here.
Lieutenant, what is your position?
Onyx Point. We've just activated the light mass and we're about to...
Not another goddamn word, Lieutenant. That missile is sitting in that silo for a reason.
Colonel, you have no idea what you're up against.
I know exactly what I'm up against. The grub who killed a bunch of worthless Indies. I'd shake the bastard's hand if I could.
Then you and your men will die.
Lieutenant, arrest Private Paddock and remain on that rock. Actually, no. Cadet Hendrick, arrest Paddock and Lieutenant Baird if he resists you.
This is Omega 2. We're pinned down 2 blocks from the museum. We need an evac.
We're mobilizing, Sergeant. We can have a Raven to you in an hour.
We don't have an hour.
We could be there a whole lot sooner.
I'm gonna rescue Omega.
That's a coincidence. So am I.
It's done.
The door was the only way back to the missile lab. And now it was shut tight. It was time to get back to the beach.
You people astound me.
Respectfully, you might want to consider postponing the tribunal to...
You might want to consider getting back out there and fighting, Captain.
Sir, they're right outside!
Then it'll be a short walk.
This is crazy.
I'm waiting on you. Finish up.
The light mass missile was ready to launch. We needed to find Karn, get the beacon close to him, and fire. And where was Karn? Well, Omega knocked out his cedars at the museum. I figured he'd want to deal with that personally. Colonel, what if Karn allowed Omega to knock out that cedar and wanted to lure your men right to him? These grubs are actually thinking strategically. Earlier in the day, Old Town seemed deserted, even though it hadn't been properly evac'd. Where did everyone there go? Now we knew. The rooftops. They thought they'd be safe. They thought wrong. Karn was sending in his best grubs. I was starting to wonder if maybe he was afraid of us. Only a little bit more until he reached the museum. Of course, killing Karn meant sacrificing the bot. I didn't feel great about that. But, the hell with it. I could build another bot. Bye-bye. Any last words for our pal?
What? The bot?
What's its name anyway?
Jack.
No. It's Troy.
That's a terrible name.
He won't have it for long.
Cadet Hendrick, what is your position?
We're aiding another unit, sir.
What unit? Did you stay on the island as ordered?
Colonel, if we don't fire the light mass, everyone in Halvo Bay is going to die.
Lieutenant, listen carefully. That weapon is being saved by smarter men than we for a purpose. If you fire it, I will have you tried and shot.
Fine, I'll see you in court. I suggest you take cover, sir.
I told you to stay on that island, Lieutenant. This court has reached a final verdict. Any last words? Men like you are why I fought the Cog.
We saved a lot of people today.
Yeah, including your ass.
No final words from you, Lieutenant?
Maybe you have a point, sir. We saved, what, 1,000 people? The light mass missile was designed to save millions. I know that. But if Karn had taken Halvo, we might have lost a chance to save anyone. actually shoot us somewhere else?
Your boogeyman? Doesn't look so tough.
What do we do?
We take our time.
There's a difference between war and cruelty.
War is cruelty. And this one's not over. A word, Lieutenant? That's the last time anyone's going to address you as Lieutenant. I'm dropping the charges, but you'll never be an officer again.
Yeah, why should all these brains be wasted on an officer? Sir.
Private.
Never.
No wonder I was supposed to keep an eye on you.
On me? For what?
I guess they thought you might try to steal our military technology. Which you did.
Illegally access military technology. There's a difference.
Pardon me, Lieutenant Baird.
It's Private Baird now. Loomis just demoted me.
My congratulations.
Couldn't have done it without you.
I think that means I might be in charge.
Perfect.
Cole, do we have this much tension between us?
Yeah, I think we might.
Good. Just check.